Welcome, race fans. This is Ron with Big Wizard TV. We are going to hit video number 2, the details of the decals. We are going to go painting for iRacing with GIMP. We're going to be about 35-40 minutes this time. It's a little bit longer video, and we're not going to do a whole car. We don't have that kind of time. It will take some time to do this, but I'm going to go through the grabbing of the graphics, placing the graphics, moving them around, getting them on the right layers, saving everything. You'll have to use some previously lessons learned from lesson number 1 on how to get it everywhere else. I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe. And if there's any questions at all, drop them down in the chat and I will respond as quickly as possible. Thanks again for watching. Let's get to it. Okay, paint fans, let's get right into it. Let's go find ourselves some logos. First off, you have to go out to the internet and find the logos you want to put on your car. Do searches. We're doing a Toyota, so let's do some Japanese racing logos. There's a street racing logo. That one's got this can stock thing in it, so that's not public domain. You can't use that. This one here looks like you could use it. Some cool Japanese characters. Don't know what it says, so I'm not sure I want to do that one. Honda Racing, not really going to fit on the car. Japanese booster, sure, looks cool. It's also quite large. If you highlight over it in Google, when you do a Google search, you see the size, 1200 by 739. That's a pretty decent sized logo. Sometimes you can click on it and get a better version of it. Doesn't look like you can really download it. It says you can upload it or download it. Save image. This is from Pinterest. Pinterest is interesting because it'll make you log in eventually. Yeah. So, not going to do that. I'm just going to go back to the logo itself, right click on it and do a save as. We'll put it in Japanese logos. We'll call it Godzilla. And it's a PNG file, so perfect. All right, let's go over here. Also, I did a Toyota search. Different kinds of files you're going to find online. JPEG is probably the most common graphic file, but JPEGs don't have clear backgrounds. Okay, they don't have a transparent option. So you have to look for the transparent files. One of the most common is a PNG file. So if we go with that, it's usually pretty easy to pick out a file. It'll show you the dots in the background like it's gray. Some of these guys are a little deceiving. They'll actually take a picture of a transparent background and make it into a JPEG, and it's not transparent. It is what it is. It happens. Some of them are really small, like this one, 320 by 129. Too small to really use, but if you're going to use it small in the car, it'll work. Again, 320 by 120, pretty small. This one's nice and big, 800 by 800. Does not look like it has a clear background, but let's save this one, and I'm going to show you something I can do with it. We'll put it in cars. Just drop it in here, call it Toyota Racing A for Australia. And that's going to be a different kind of file. I saw the file type, and it might be a transparent background. We'll go back to car and check. We've got a couple logos. Dig around on the internet, find what you want. Make sure they're big. If you can, make sure they're clear, and make sure they're crisp, okay? Because that's what you need to have to look good. The bigger, the better on your car. If you get up around the 3000 area, sure, but I mean, you're going to have to work with them quite a bit to get them smaller, but that's okay. Hey, there's a cool looking logo. Don't know what it means, but it's a cool logo. Let's save it. Toyota. People are watching this saying, you fool, I know what that logo is. How come you don't know what that? Anyway, let's go to the car. Back where we left off on the car. And we're going to pick a logo. So we're going to go in our decals area. Okay. We're going to file, open as a layer. And we're going to pick one of these files that we just found. We stuck them in iRacing, cars, logos, cars. Got to be organized. You got to know where your stuff is. You got to be able to find it. Toyota's at the bottom. Toyota. Okay, let's start with this one. Okay, nice logo. It's actually the same logo that's on the door on the number panel. So actually it works pretty good. Apparently it's good enough for iRacing to use, so we'll use it. Notice it's in the decals area, okay, and it's also really big. Right now I'm using the move tool, which is these 4 arrows. You can grab it, these 4 arrows right here. You can grab this logo, move it around. My mouse is terrible, sorry about that. But it's too big. We want to put it on the door, so let's go with this tool. This is the scale tool. So we're going to click on the scale tool. We're going to click on it. It's going to give us these little handles. Now with the scale tool, it can be linked or unlinked. You can see up here on the scale menu, it has a link option where it's chained together, and then an unlink option where it's not. If you have it unlinked, when you move it around, you can change the size of it and the dimensions and everything, and it'll look really weird. We'll reset that back to normal, and we're going to link it now. And now we're just going to make it smaller so it'll fit on our door. I put it right there on the door. We're going to hit scale. It'll set it. Now it's set in place in the decals folder where it needs to be in the correct layer. File, export to car. We go out to our car, and boom, there it is, right on the door, right where it's supposed to be. Perfect logo, where we want it. Okay. Go to the other side. I'm going to show you this because this is what you do. Be organized. This is the Toyota Toyota GR logo, driver's side door. Okay. Be specific, because once you get 50 of these in here, you'll try to remember where they are. Down here at the bottom, duplicate tool right here. Makes another one. See, it says door copy. We're going to click in there. I'm going to change it to passenger side door and get rid of the word copy. And now that's a second logo. So right now there's 2 of these logos sitting here. I'm going to take the top one, use my move tool, grab it, drag it, leaves the other one down there. If you do this before you make a copy, it'll be gone. Okay, you hold down the control key and it'll move it along the same axis. Okay, you get it where you want it. Then you go to the rotate tool. Okay, here's the rotate tool, the two rectangles. You're going to spin it, you grab on it and spin it, and it'll bring up the rotate function. You're going to make it, you can just click up here in the box and change it to 180. It'll automatically switch it to 180, and you don't have to get it exact yourself. And there it saves it. Okay, file, export to car. We go peek at our car. Boom, there it is. Okay, you just have to worry about the height up and down, get it about the same. Nobody's going to be able to look at both sides of your car at the same time, so it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be, but you try to make it as close as you can. All right, let's do another one. I'll show you a different thing that happens. Let's open as a layer, and let's go back to iRacing, go to logos, cars, and down to the Toyota logo. And then we'll grab this Toyota Cup logo that we found. We'll put that in here. It's going to convert it. Okay, now this logo has a problem, as you can see. I can't put this anywhere on the car because it has this big white background on it, right? So that's not going to help me. So let's edit. Let's just get rid of it. So we highlight the logo. Down here in the bottom is your delete key. Delete. And let's open this, because we can fix this. It's a good logo. We can fix it. Instead of opening it as a layer, open it. Go back to the same spot you were in. Grab the logo. Convert it, and it'll open it up by itself. Now you got it by itself. Okay, this is a JPEG file. JPEGs, like I said, don't have clear backgrounds. So we need to make it into a PNG file and then stick it on the car. First, we need to adjust this layer to allow to have a transparent background. You got to make sure it does. Sometimes they already do, not always, but you go to Layer, Transparency, Add Alpha Channel. This is going to add your transparent channel to that layer. The layer is the image. Once you open it in GIMP, that image is the layer. Because if you can see over here, there's only one. So we're going to add the alpha channel, And now it allows me to make this part of this transparent. So if I were to select just this piece right here and clear it, now that piece is transparent. Okay. So let's do this. Let's go to the select tool that we used before. Make sure we're select none. We go to our select tool for the color. We're going to click on it. If you look on the top right, did we click on the border? We did, but we got everything that was white in the diagram or in the document. So that's not the right tool to use. So select none. Let's go to this tool right here. It's called the fuzzy select tool. And you click on what you want to pick. If I want just the G, I can pick out just the G. If I want the outside border, I can pick on the outside border. Once I have it and I want to get rid of it, you go edit and clear, and now it's gone. Select none. Now you've got just your logo. I'm going to show you something that you can do and it'll mess it up. If you zoom in on this, let's select none. If you zoom in on this, you'll notice that the edge is not sharp. Okay. GIMP uses bitmap files, not vector files. So they're not going to have these super clean images that you get out of Photoshop. You want to spend the money for Photoshop and learn Photoshop? 2 thumbs up for you. I don't have that kind of cash. But you want to get the white, but you want to get all of it. You don't want to leave these little speckles out here. So there's this thing over here on the side called threshold. Now, if your threshold is really low, you're only going to pick up the white that's perfectly white. You're not going to get all of it. Okay. Let's make it low enough to do this once for an example. Okay. Now, if you look in here on my selection, there's white outside my selection. It's not completely white, but it's almost white. So if I were to go here and I were to go edit clear, then my logo has this little weird white border on it, right? So when you do your select, undo, let's see, select none. When you do your select, make sure your threshold is where you want it. Around 100 will give you a pretty good image on what you're selecting, but sometimes that doesn't even work. If you want to get just one color, you want to get super precise, you can use a really low number, especially if you're working with some really clean, crisp graphics. But we're going to use 100, about. We select the white. It's going to pull out some of the black. It's going to pull those grays and things are going to come out of the image. But when we're done, edit clear, we don't have any white sticking out. See? So it's a much better image. Just a trick. Select none. We're going to, one thing you want to, a couple things you can do, you can make this so the whole image is smaller and just fits around the logo. That also helps you know if you missed anything around the outside edge. You go layer, crop to content. You see how the line is now really small? And then you can go image, also crop to content. And now you're just that little piece. So now we can save this. Let's export it as. We're going to export it as a PNG, not a JPEG. See how up here it's got a JPEG in there? You want to go down here to the bottom, and you want to tell it you want to do this as a PNG file. That's the file with the transparent background. So now it changed it to PNG when we selected it. Hit export. Export. And now we have this file as a PNG file. Let's go back to the car. Now see, we've got 2 windows open up here. We got the car and we got the little logo we were working on. So we can close the logo. You don't need to save it because you just kind of modified a JPEG or modified an image into something else. Now you can go to your decals area. You can go File, Open as a Layer. And now we have the file in the right format. Logos, cars, down to Toyota. I hope I can find it. There it is. Okay. See, here's the PNG file. And here's the JPEG file. So we're going to grab the PNG file with the clear background. And now it looks a lot different when we pull it in. Use our move tool. We're going to move it around. We're going to spin it. Use the spinner tool right here, the rotation tool. Just going to type in 90 because that's the easiest way to do it up here. And then hit rotate. Move it down. I'm going to make a size tool, scale tool. And shrink it so it fits where I want it. Put it about where I want it. Hit scale. You zoom in. Now you zoom in with the control key and the mouse wheel. That's how you zoom in and out. So first we're going to put this down here. We're going to go ahead and send this out to the car and see what it looks like. And then I'll fix it. Okay. All right. That looks terrible. It's got the Toyota logo in the middle. It's got, just, it's not centered. All kinds of problems here. So let's go back and fix it. All right. So how do you find center and how do you figure out where that Toyota logo is when it doesn't show you anywhere on here what that Toyota logo is or where it is? You can guess that these are the lines for those little hood pins, but we don't know. So you go over here and open up your turn on before exporting and click on the eyeball next to the wire diagram. And this will show you the wire diagram of the car, obviously, on here. Go back down to your Toyota logo in the decals area, and you're already selected on it, so you can still move it around, but you can't really tell exactly where center is. So go back to your scale tool, and you see now you got these boxes right here on the top and bottom and side to side if you need that as well. You can see the groove of the car. This is where the hood is. You can see the green line for the hood underneath it. So we're going to be going over the hood line. But to be above Toyota and still fit, we need to make this smaller. So we're going to grab it and make it smaller. Now it should fit where you need it. Let's zoom in a little bit. And then to get it center, you take this box to move inside the scale tool, and you move it until the line right here on the logo, the box handle, is square to the center line of the car. So you move it over just a little bit more. It's right about there. That's pretty dang close to me. And it's still hitting this one, but just a little bit on the top. So you could move it down just a little bit to clear that. Hit scale, get rid of your wire, export it to the car, and boom. It's smaller, but it's correct. It's not covering anything. It's in the center. It's where it needs to be. So that's how you put the logos on, and that's how you start with a JPEG and get an image on your car. It can be done. Numbers, I'll talk quickly about numbers. Normally, I don't use custom numbers. You can. We'll go into that in another video on how to do custom numbers and really custom stuff. But if you use the numbers that are set by iRacing on your car, all you have to do is make sure the space is there on your diagram, on your image. It'll leave a space there for you. Just make sure you don't mess with that. It'll be fine. And the number will go in there. You can change the color of it. We can change that if you don't like that. And one other thing, we are going to talk about this here. Let's see if I'm in the right spot, though. Not quite. But we're going to jump into some color work, and then we're going to talk about positioning the graphics. And I already jumped ahead, went to part 3 before I even finished part 2. Colors. So let's jump into how to fix. Like, let's say you want this box to be white instead of red, right here where the number is going to go on the side of the car. You don't like that being white, but what you can see the number is going to be white, so you can't use white. So let's use the blue, but since the blue is the same color as the car, let's do a blue with a green outline so it matches the cars. It matches the car and still lets you see the color. There still lets you see the number, but it's not red. All right. This box is inside the pre-made area, okay, under car decal. That's where it hides. Okay, so that is a layer. You're going to have to use the car decal layer or something above it to cover it up or change it. Now you can either delete it right out of the car decal layer, but then you can never go back to it if you ever want to do something else, or you can just put another layer above it. So down here is your new layer tool. We'll put a new layer in. We'll call it car decal 2, okay, because it's above car decal. Now we're going to go back to car decal, and we're going to grab our fuzzy select tool because we don't want everything red, but we're going to grab this red box. Threshold's pretty good. We got a red box. While we're doing it, let's get the other red box. There's 2 of these, right? The other thing you got to watch for is, are there other numbers? Are there numbers on the hood? Are there numbers on the top? Are there numbers on the back? Doesn't look like it, so you're probably okay just doing the two. We got our two boxes. We're going to make these base color blue, and we want to match the color of the car. So what color is that blue? You can sit here and you can try to find it. Oh, it's about there. And then you fill it in, and it's not there. That's not the same blue. You're like, is it good enough? No, it's not good enough. How do you find that color blue? You go to the select tool right here, this little eyedropper. It's the color picker. Okay, and you're going to click in the other blue. That'll fill this foreground color. If you have it set that way here in the tools, it'll fill this foreground color with the color you pick. That color is right here. Here's the number of that color, 001678. That is a hexadecimal number, 0 through F, 6 digits, that correspond to red, green, and blue as each pair of digits. That tells you what color you're dealing with. If you want a certain color, like say you have to have the color of McLaren Racing. McLaren Racing hex colors. And if you go to images, you'll usually find it, and there it is. There's the hex colors of McLaren Racing. Really quite simple, and you can use those numbers, FF8000, 47, there's the orange, the blue, the white, and the black. Obviously, white is all Fs, black is all zeros. But there's your orange and blue from McLaren 2022 from the Formula One car. Pretty simple to use them if you want the Ferrari colors, Haas colors, Alfa Romeo, Williams. All you got to do is type it out there and look for it. You'll find it. Hex colors. But no, that's the hex number, that little 6-digit alphanumeric number to find your colors. So this color blue, we didn't do that. This car is not a specific car color. But this color blue is 001678. So now we got the color. Let's go to the fill tool. Now that we have the color selected, and now let's fill in the box, and now we match. Okay, but you can't see the number. The number, if you go here, File, Export to Car. We're going to leave it selected for a minute, and I'll show you. See, now the number panel kind of disappears, right? It disappears as it goes up into the blue because it's the same color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the green color. So pick the green color, and I'm going to go back to my car decal. Oh, edit, undo. Okay, I did it wrong. Car decal, make sure you're on car decal 2 when you fill with the blue color. Otherwise, you'll be painting over the other car decal layer. We're not going to paint that layer. We're going to paint above that layer. So now we have our blues, okay? And now I'm going to pick the green. Pick the green. I'm on car decal 2, and I've got green. I'm going to go edit, and I'm going to stroke selection. Kind of similar to how we made the white bigger. Now we're going to make a box around it. Now the box is going to be half in and half out. So if you want a 3-pixel box, make it 6 pixels wide. Okay? Stroke the green around the blue. File, export to car. And now we have a blue box that we can see on that background. Right? Pretty cool, right? And you can do that. You can change that. Just make sure you watch your layers and put them where you want them. That's how you adjust an existing layer. Now, say you want to get rid of an existing layer, or you want to use it somewhere else. Like I like this little gear wrench logo, but I don't want it here. I want it up here, or I want it on the roof. Okay, fine. Where is it? First of all, you have to find it. Car decal. Boom, boom. It's right there. It's inside car decal. Then you go to your select tool. We're going to use the box select because it's kind of rectangular shaped. And we're going to shape around. Now go ahead and zoom in so you get a good shot of this so you don't miss anything. Zoom in and box around the logo. Now say you missed it. That's okay. You got handles. Until you actually select something, you can use the handles. Now if I capture this, am I going to get the green and white behind it? No, I'm not, because I'm on the car decal layer. Edit, copy. Okay, now it's a copy. It's in your clipboard. Computer clipboard 101. Go to move, select none, unselect. Okay, we're going to stick it on the roof. Edit, paste as a new layer. Now, this new layer can be on the regular car because you're not covering up any of the car decals. So go down to decals, edit, paste as a new layer. And there's your layer. You can't really see it that well, but hopefully we can grab it because it's above everything else. Not sure if I'm going to be able to get it. Nope, we got it. Okay. So now I'm going to move it. I'm going to spin it. Let's spin it around. We'll just stick it in the above the windshield. Rotate tool. 90 degrees. The reason I move it and then change it is because I don't know if it's minus or plus. So that's why I do it that way. We'll stick it right there. Do you want it in the center? You know how to do that, right? Let's go to the select tool. Okay, we'll put it right in the middle. Okay, turn off the wire. Scale it. Export it. And there you go. Now we moved the gear wrench logo from down here. And you notice it doesn't have the white or any of the background with it. It's just the logo. We moved it up to here. And you can do that. You can delete them. You can move them. You can change them. You can do whatever you want with them. So that was pretty good coverage of the color picker, hex colors, wheel color. We already talked about wheel color over in the other video. Using hue and chroma. Okay. Here's another tool on the decals. Now say you like this gear wrench logo, but you hate the color. So it's called pasted layer, and it didn't make it in decals. So let's put it down in decals where it belongs. And we'll call it gear wrench. But you don't like orange. You like bright green or something. You got it highlighted. You go to layers, colors, hue chroma. Okay, it's a cool little tool. Right here, up here. Colors, hue chroma. Make sure you select on the layer you want. And then you change the hue. Check this out. Anything you want, you can make it do. I like that bright blue. That's pretty cool. But I don't want it so bright, or I want it brighter. I can change the chroma. I can take a little edge off of that. Put a little too much on it, and it kind of blurs the whole thing. But take a little bit off. It looks pretty good. You can lighten it up. You can darken it up. That looks pretty good right there. You can really mess it up, but you can also change the colors. Hit OK, and now you have a light blue gear wrench color. All right, I want to point something out here that I just saw. Wasn't really part of my original plan, but if you notice right here, there's a blue line in between the clear and the black. So is that blue going to bleed through on your car? No, it does not. And I'll show you why. If you go up to the wire diagram, these green lines on the wire diagram are the edge of the car in the drawing. This space right here doesn't matter. This little space, this little part where it's blue and green, or this top of this black, they are not going to show. Only the parts inside the green layer, the green area, are going to show on your car. So it's good to know there's a little gap at the edge of all these, so you have a little play, a little leeway on doing that. Okay. Adjusting sizes, flip and spin. We'll go to flip. Let's say you have a logo that you need to be mirrored, that you can't just rotate. If you rotate it, it's upside down or it's backwards or something, and you need to do a flip. Since we're playing with this gear wrench logo, let's keep going here. Let's make a copy down here at the bottom, copy tool. Okay, gear wrench copy is perfect for what we need to call it right now because we're just messing around. All right, and we're going to go to the flip tool, which is this double arrow tool. I don't know, it actually is called the flip tool. We can flip it horizontally or we can flip it vertically. We're going to flip it horizontally because it's kind of on the car that way. And boom, we're going to hit it and make it upside down. What we did is we just flipped it over. Okay, so now it's a mirror of what it was. Now, that is not how you would do this logo, but I'm just showing you that if you do have one, that if you spin it, it's upside down, you can flip them over. Okay, with that tool right there, the flip tool. All right, Done with that, we're going to delete it using delete tool. The wire diagram, copy and paste a new layer. We did that already. Let's see, let's finish it up. What if you want to get rid of some of these pre-made logos? Like what if you don't like the Mobile One logo or a Yahoo logo? Say you're a Google fan, not a Yahoo fan. And you just want to get rid of that one thing. You know that it's up here in car decal. We already talked about that. Okay, there's your car decal logos. But let's say we just want to get rid of Yahoo. A couple different ways to do it. You can either box around it and clear it. That'll get rid of it. Or you can go to your eraser tool and you can set the size of your eraser. I've been doing some pretty fine stuff if I have that down to 5 pixels. You set the size of your eraser tool, it'll show you how big it is. The eraser tool is a little bit tricky. It doesn't erase the whole circle immediately all at once. It kind of fades into it, and after you get going on it, it actually will it'll wipe out the whole thing. But it's a reasonable tool. It works really good if you're just trying to pick something out and you don't want to have to draw a line around it or something. But you can go anywhere on this logo. Right now we're on the car decals. Anything you hit in the car decals will go away. But if you hit something else, like up here, there's nothing there on car decal layer. That's a different layer. Okay. Edit, undo. All right. So that's how you get rid of pre-mades. Now, sometimes you go to try to do that and it doesn't work. It's like, no, you cannot get rid of this. Yeah. It's really weird. Right-click on the layer you're trying to get rid of, and you go to Edit Layer Attributes up here at the top. Okay. And sometimes they have Lock Alpha turned on right there. Okay, Lock Alpha means it will not allow you to make something transparent. Okay, if they do that, then all you got to do is right-click, go to Edit Layers, and uncheck the box Lock Alpha. You're going to see it a lot on old cars, like say you go into a legacy car or something and you try to adjust the graphics and it won't let you. That's why. It's because it's locked. We talked about the number panels. Let me talk about sizing. And then we'll do the parts finder, and that'll be it for today. I think we're definitely way into this video. Okay, what if you make your logo, and see, I can find it. Where's this logo? Toyota GR logo, DS door, driver's side door. What if you make your logo too small? What does it do? How does it look on your car? This is a really good image, so it looks good. But when you scale it, look at that. You see how it's fuzzy? Let me send that out to the car and I'll show you that it's really not as bad as it looks. See, it actually looks pretty good still on the car. You can make them pretty small. You can go fairly small. You can go too small, and you'll know, but make it the size you want. Send it out to the car and take a look at it, because it's not always going to look like this. Okay? So edit, undo size. You can get pretty small. And when you're dealing with the logos on like these corners and stuff, like down in the front corner of the car or on the mirrors and stuff, sometimes they look pretty blurry when you zoom in and look at them in here. But when you go look at the car, that JBL logo looks pretty good. Now, that's the other thing I want to tell you. Last thing, and then we're done with logos. Go to town, make your logos, ask me questions, throw something down in the chat, whatever, I'll answer it. Okay. Where are the mirrors is for one. They pointed it out for us. Nice of them to do that for us. But if we didn't have JBL logos on our mirrors, then where are the dang mirrors? How do you find the mirror in this diagram? Where's the mirror? I don't know. Where's the little part of the rear bumper that I want to put something on? I don't know. There is a tool you can use, and I'll have to find a link to get you to download it somewhere for you in the video, in the description. But it's called the Parts Finder. Okay, so what you do is you got to go way up above. You got to go all the way up to the top of your of your paint layers. Okay, so I'm going to put it way up above at the top of pre-made because it's got to cover everything to make it work. Open as a layer. Now, I have this thing in the bottom of my vehicles folder. It's called the Car Part Finder Map. Okay, right here. Open. Boom. It looks terrible. It's like, what in the world did I just do? That's what you want. You want it to cover the entire image with these numbers. Then what we're going to do is we're going to throw those numbers out on the car, export to the car, and it's going to change the car to a whole bunch of numbers. But now I know where things are. Where are the mirrors? They're orange, bright orange, yellowish lettering with orange, kind of brownish, tan orange outlines on a black background. So bright orange, brownish with a black background. That is the mirror on this side, and this one is upside down, so you know that one's going to be flipped. But 29 to 30, hot pink over black. This is 7980, yellow over black. So we kind of know where it is already. It's kind of cheating, but here it is. Look. 7980 over black. And on the other side of the car, 2930 over black. You just found the mirrors. Now, if you're doing like an Indy car or an open wheel car, you're going to need this tool all the time. What I usually do is I do this. Okay, now I have it selected, so I know where it is. It just does one at a time. But I know where it is now. So now when I turn this off, when I turn off the paint layer or paint finder, there is the mirror. Okay, so now I go down to my decals layer and I make a new layer called mirrors. Or I can spell it wrong, doesn't really matter. And I'm going to fill this, and we'll see if I actually got the whole thing. We're going to fill this mirror with white, like white mirrors. I'm going to File, Export to Car. You can see the idea. I'm not going to, obviously it's not perfect, but look at that. A white mirror on that side of the car. Okay. Using the Parts Finder tool, very, very helpful, especially with complex cars. Sprint cars, Indy cars, anything open wheel, basically. And even some of the like dirt racing cars and stuff, they have very strange looking files in GIMP. Well, that'll do it today. Thanks everybody for watching. This is Ron again with Big Wizard TV. Big shout out to our sponsor, Stair Fittings Incorporated. And hope you watch the video. Give me a like and a shout. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.